Time. Let's go.
Welcome to the night where the paranormal unite. A party like never before under the moon's airy light. The vibe is dark, the air is cold, spirits taking flight. Get haunted and ghost the magazine leading the fright. Ghosts and ghouls dancing hand in hand. Lost souls roaming the haunted land. On the battleship New Jersey we gather with glee. Horror and paranormal, a sight to see.
That looks really cool. How my lighting's on that. Anyway, I didn't get that. This right here is the coolest I have ever looked. I want that to go on record.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
it is
That's a
true.
good
That is
skill.
the coolest you've ever looked.
yes. Thank
You
you,
need to put
Bill.
that on a board.
And lame again.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We have people in here ready to go. This is what happens when Damian's on a podcast. Hell yeah, let's do it. Damian, you're going to be our third co-host from here on out. I'm kidding. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Haunted Casket. This is episode 8. I am Trevor Faith from Haunted Faith and VHF 82 Productions. And we also have Bill Bryan from Empty Casket Paranormal, Empty Casket Talking Board Museum. And that's it. Okay. And,
That's it.
and here we have the very one and only Damian Smith. And I'm not going to speak for you on who you are. Bill's pretty simple, so I'll do it for him. But Damian, you are more intrinsic. You are more unique. Tell us about yourself, like the people don't already know, but for content, let's hear about you.
Grew up in a haunted house, died 6 times, walking Ouija board, and now I'm Spirit Switchboard 101.
Hell yeah, that's the coolest fucking resume I've ever heard of. You're hired.
So Damien, we need you to
Wait
come
till
to
you
the
meet me,
state.
because never hug me, because you will disappear. You'll disappear in a vortex.
Damien,
I
we
think
need
I
you to
think a
come to
lot
the
of people.
state and just stand in my museum if you're going to be the
Yes.
human Ouija board.
I need a home when I die. My graveyard's on my back for tattoo. So body's going to science when I die. So I need a home.
There, Bill,
That's it.
you attempted to make a human skin board. When he dies,
You don't need to.
you don't need to. Just cut off his arms, fucking Dahmer that
No, keep
motherfucker.
the arms.
No, like cut off the arms like above the board. Ship the arms to Bill, and then your body can go to wherever he'll. Just just fucking Dexter him or
Yeah,
Dahmer him,
and-
whoever you're.
And I got the planchette right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that's it then. We're sorted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You definitely need the arms.
If you want to get real, Dahmer him. If you want to go fictional, Dexter him.
I'm not eating Damian.
Well, except that part. Let's get to the comments, everyone, because I forgot Bill's not an admin anymore because StreamYard's stupid, and we have to have someone take care of all the behind the scenes.
Actually, I am.
How did you do that? I mean,
I
I'm not
don't know.
complaining. Oh, all right, cool. All right, whatever. Cool. I will take it. Brandy Sampson. Hello, my friend, my family. Get haunted, family. Get haunted. Fucking everything. Brandy, how's it going? How's it going? You're awesome. I like your tattoo that you got. Nice to see it. Like in here. Sierra Dickerson. You have a picture of Beetlejuice.
That was for Sierra.
Oh, I'm like, fuck it. You click the fucking comments then. Sierra, how's it going? He took me off guard or caught me off guard. Sierra got some Beetlejuice in your pictures. It's nice to see it in here. The Nordic woman herself. I assume that's the correct word to call that Nordic woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's accurate.
Okay. Cool. How's it going, my friend? Damian Smith, nice to have you in here. We need to get you on the podcast here soon, but I promise it'll happen. Paranormal Theory, aka used to be TP. They had to change that for copyright reasons. Sorry. I remember they had to change their logo because they said it looked like too much like TP. But what's up, Paranormal Theory? We need to get you a new date to come on the show. That'll actually happen after this. We'll talk about it. I went from being sick to going to a con to coming back and getting kind of sick again to here we are now. So life's been hectic, but we're here. We're here and we're smiling and we're here. How's it going, brothers? You got one job.
I'm glad I've got for a camera.
It looks like a found footage-esque. I kind of want to take your camera and film that. It looks kind of cool. Now you just need to add some like screen scratches and it'll be fucking perfect. Stephen Kometz. I'm not gonna fuck up your
Hey, I got it right this time.
Stephen Kometz. Digging deeper paranormal. How's it going, brother?
Don't worry, Steven. I beat Trevor until he got it right.
That is true. He also just beat me because he could.
Yeah,
I know you guys' pronunciations are absolutely amazing. Half the stuff.
What?
Your pronunciation with names is brilliant.
Oh yeah, I hate the English language. Sometimes, I mean, then again, I can't fucking speak it half the time. I sound like a fucking broken EDM record, but that's not the point. Bill, I swear to God, if you laugh, you're going to hell. Up next, we have.
No, I'm just thinking of. I'm going to start recording you and make an actual EDM song.
My friend actually has that idea, and I'm gonna let him do it if he wants to. I go to a club / bar / honky tonk in my area, and the bartender's the owner, the DJ, the security team, all are great friends of mine. And this won't be a rant because I'm getting to the point. But the DJ Pharaoh Isaac, he looks at me and goes, "Hey, I'm not trying to be mean, but do you care if people like poke fun at your speech impediment?" And I go, "If I know you and I'm friends, no. If it's random people, yes." And he goes, "Cool. Can I ask you a question?" And I go, "Sure." And he goes, "Has anyone ever asked you to record vocals?" I'm like, "I can't hit a pitch to save my life, dude." And he goes, "No, like raw talking vocals, like samples." And I go, "I know where you're going with this, and yes." So it'll happen eventually when he's not busy, but neither
That
here or there.
Would be awesome. All right.
Because
So
yeah.
get when you have that audio, that's going to be our new theme song.
Okay, cool.
I can
Well,
dig with that.
what he'll make it, because what he does is like he turns rap songs into EDM rap songs, like Lil Wayne and stuff like that. So like I'll ask him to make like we can pay him like 10 20 bucks to make like a Haunted Casket theme song.
Sweet.
When we do that, can we start calling you Little Trev?
Lil T.
Nah, Little
Or-
Trev sounds weirder, so we're gonna go with that.
Could be worse. Could be Mr. T
Hey,
from the
T
80s.
Pain. T Pain. I'm not okay. I'll shut up. Up next, we have Lori Salerno. I realized a couple nights ago that I was saying her name wrong for the longest time.
What were you saying?
Salerno. She never corrected me in person. Granted, I never really said her last name to her in person, so that would probably make sense. But yeah, Salerno. I realized that a couple of days ago on Facebook. She shared something. I forget what it was, and I'm like, Lori Salerno shared that. Cool. I say it in my head because my brain's constantly just going, and in my head I'm like, why does that sound weird? And I'm like, I've been saying her name wrong for 2.5 fucking years. But either way,
Trevor.
thank you. I'm a failure. But anyway, Stacy Lind, how's it going? The mother of Vi Sierra. How's it going? I like your profile picture. Very nature-esque. I like it. I forget my mouse is in reverse. Let me scroll down. We have a lot of comments already. Holy shit. I feel important
I'm
for
glad
the
you
first
guys
time.
are running it.
Damien, I'm gonna make you admin. Like I'm kidding. Ian Murphy, the moderator himself, and his new co-host on Get Moderated at Tuesdays at afternoon. I don't remember the exact time. I look at a lot of shows, but Ian Murphy, how's it going? How's it going? The host of Get Moderated. Memphis Ghost Hunters, how's it going? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time I've seen you in stream. Welcome in. I'm happy you are here. You're actually not too far away from me, so hell yeah. Nice to see you like in here, and welcome in. I hope you enjoy your stay. Icy Spirits, how's it going? How's it going? Glad you're here. Get moderated, and just because you're on 2 accounts does not mean to get more attention. I'm kidding, brother. I'm kidding. How's it going, bro? I like your new logo too. But then again, your logo before that was just you in a sleeveless shirt. So like, I guess that's your only logo. Up next, the squirrel herself, Dehoot. I think you need a cussing jar, Trevor, and you have to split it with Bill.
I'm pretty sure I curse more than you do.
Yeah, my dad's like a sailor, like full on like beach bum sailor. I got the cursing from him. He can't go a sentence without saying like simple to extreme words.
But do you know what they say about people that swear a lot?
High intelligence.
Yeah.
Wait, really? Shit, I guess I'm the outlier. But Dehoot, how's it been? How's it been? And a big hello to Damian. How's it going? I think Bill gets all the cuss jar money. Frick, darn it. Let's see what we got here.
Oh fudge.
Oh fudge. What the hell's that meme that got played here? God, that hurt like a butt cheek on a stick. What's your profanity? Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Don't feel bad. Closed captioning so many understand you got shit. If I wonder if I stutter once on a word for like 2 or 3 times, if it'll actually say the word 3 times or if it'll like create some like ad lib shit. Up next we have or getting the scratch effect just over thing is gonna say. Yeah, you know. Trevolution. You're banned. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're banned. Trip and Trev. You're suspended for 10 minutes. Um,
We can have no guests left. You'll be in the sin bin.
and what? Get off of TikTok, please, for 5 seconds. Ian, please. I'm sorry. You can go back. I saw that, and that comment just pissed me off. If you know the story behind that, then, yeah. For the longest time, if I reference you to anybody, second nature, Lori Salarino. I added an E in between your R and N.
Just call it part of your stutter.
Nah, because I'm too truthful. I don't like to lie.
Then how do you sleep?
A lot of melatonin. And if I run out of melatonin, a shot. And then the next day I get some melatonin. And then cats will jump on my face and I'll smack their ass and tell them to get off. That's not the point. Anyway.
What? This cannot be true. There's
Okay,
no way.
I'm going there on Saturday. Can we talk about how the Hawk 2 girl has... I'm Googling that right now.
I know. I've got. I'm at a
Damian,
loss.
we'll get to you in a second. I'm sorry. We need to know if Hawk 2 has her fucking...
She does.
Oh, she does? Hawk 2?
That's
Wait,
just...
why Spirit Halloween out of everywhere? I would get like Spencer's. But like...
Yeah, Spencer's would make sense. That's a little upsetting, honestly.
I mean, it's quite... Because she's got a substantial ranger, I
told you.
Oh!
She has her own... Okay, here. Let me see if I can pull this up. It's on Reddit. But like, I'm pulling... So... She has her own side panel with a Hawk 2 outfit.
There's a lot more than that.
Okay. Yeah, it's literally Hawk 2 spit on that thing with girls' t-shirts, like 10 and under, like not toddler, but like little girl shirts, and then a full-on man and woman costume that she made. Gray for men, pink for women.
Yeah.
Why did we make the wrong people famous?
All right, back to the important things.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh. I'm reading everything. Trevor, you're a genius. It depends on what you're talking about, because in the grand scheme of things,
I think D-Who needs to get her brain checked.
Yeah. I'm like zoning out at that comment. Okay, thank you. It doesn't show the stutter. Thank you for doing that the research. You never stutter on fuck. Thanks for jinxing me. Bill Bryan, check your messages. She sent me something. Oh, it's the Hawk 2 section. If it'll load. Yeah, that's what we saw on Google. Yeah, it's a little sidebar like on the edge of the actual aisle. Hat, decals, socks, koozie. No, okay. I don't know, what is that? Door hanger. If you're getting if you're getting the Hawk 2 on,
let's go back to the paranormal.
Okay. This is technically Spirit Halloween.
That is true. Halloween section.
Okay. I think that was the first buzzer that he's done in a while that actually made sense. All right. I think we've caught up on all the comments. Spencer's own Spirit Halloween. I guess now that makes sense. All right. Hello, everyone. D-Hoot, Sierra, Ian, Josh, so on and so forth. That's all I see in the bottom of the comments. Damian, how are you?
I've been better. I've now got Wi-Fi again.
You good. So, just to lighten the mood and get off the fucking Hawk 2 bullshit, tell us about, I guess, the introductory the question that leads into whatever the fuck this podcast will end up being. How did you get into the paranormal? And more importantly, why?
Born in a haunted house, unexplained activity, and then lived in a house that was built on a cemetery. So kind of always been around the spooks and ghosts. But then took a sidestep and conformed to normality and put it aside, and now I'm going back to it and loving it.
So I got a question for you.
Go for
Being
it.
in Scotland, are there
Yeah.
any houses that aren't haunted?
Well, the house I'm in at the minute was originally built for lepers,
What's a
Oh.
leper?
people with leprosy.
Copy that.
So possibly people have died in this house as well. But I'm not allowed to investigate this house. But if anything happens while I'm here, then it's well.
Interesting.
Sorry, I'm just googling.
But before we go any further, can we run an experiment with you guys and everybody on the side?
Absolutely.
Great.
I'm looking up what.
I'm looking up the spirit crap.
Okay.
So I need everybody to write down a trigger word and think of it while the show is on to see whether or not they can force it through to the device.
My Google's not working. What's leprosy?
It's a disease that deforms your body and face and things.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just curious, but gotcha. Okay. A trigger word. Okay.
Got it.
My word is alligator.
Does it? Okay. Does it have to be like a random word, or can it be, or does it have to be something?
Anything you want.
Okay.
You just got to think of it the whole show.
The whole show. Shit. All right.
So at the end of the show,
Trevor, no porn.
I'll post the comments at the end of the show.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at my liked songs on Spotify, and I'm gonna pick a random word like in a song.
Perfect.
Whenever you ask me to do something on my own, it's like making decisions is hard in the moment. But like, if you tell me what to do, then I will do that said thing with my own twist. My brain's weird, but keep talking while I choose some shit.
Well, I didn't want to influence the information that I might get through this. So
okay.
Because I've done an experiment where I did it 300 miles and got my word through 300 miles, and then I did it 3,000 miles. So I still don't know how that works.
By the way, Bill.
Yes.
Sorry. I was going to take a drink and I forgot to show you my new cup from Spirit Halloween.
Nice.
But continue while I sort this down.
So that's an interesting experiment, Damian. I've actually done an experiment a couple years ago where we did a ghost hunt with some of my haunted objects, but the only people that were here, like physically here, were me and my fiance, and everyone else that was investigating, we did it over a Zoom call. So we had people, a couple states away, and they were getting stuff. Rob was part of it. He got some EVPs. We had Terry and Julie as part of it. They were getting REM pod activity in their house. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely do ghost hunts over the network, which is kind of cool.
Damian, what is the quickest response that you've gotten on that was answering something in the moment?
The quickest response would be walking into a cemetery and called Judas Cradle.
Yep. Sorry, that was wait. What now?
I walked into a cemetery and it called me Judas Cradle.
Judas Cradle.
Apparently, it's a torture device for the other side of the spectrum.
Oh, I was lost for words. I didn't know what that was, but gotcha.
It's a bit like Spanish donkey.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I saw a live investigation and TV, so that there was a Ouija in a white box.
The Ouija Queen. There's actually 2 versions of the Ouija Queen. I don't have either one yet. Yeah. By the way, does anybody want to take a guess at how many Ouija boards I have in my collection?
103 is calling me. 103.
You're actually close at 100. 103 is close.
Higher or lower?
It's a little higher.
107.
106.
Ah, damn.
That's a lot.
Damn. Can you guess how many is in my collection?
4.
5.
Oh.
How many's in my collection?
4.
17.
2.
Oh.
I'm one of them. My other one is.
It's somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool one. I like that.
Dope. still trying to get my hands on the cemetery board. Bill knows what I'm talking about. I don't know where it's at. I look on eBay and Amazon every fucking week, and it's not even there. I may just buy it off you, to be honest.
All right.
Oh god, I thought you would be like, hell no, that's mine.
You should try making a board on site. See if it actually transmits the actual energy from the site into the board.
Hello, Kent. How's it going?
I'm making a couple boards from wood from some locations. Like we have Wilson Castle. I have some wood from there that I'm making a Wilson Castle themed board out of. I got some wood from McClay Mansion that I'm making a board out of. So
wow.
Yeah, I'm doing that side of it.
Right here is Sapphire, my tarantula. And as soon as she sheds her skin, I'm going to try and make a planchette out of her skin.
Okay, Julia.
That is genius. Hold on.
Imagine combining all the Ouija boards together. That'd be some powerful thing right there. I don't know how it would be possible to, though.
Yeah, I don't have enough hands for all the planchettes. I love the idea of using the tarantula as the planchette, like the shed. I have 6 snakes. I think I might start putting some of their sheds aside for a board. That would be cool.
I mean, Julia, the only way you could do it is epoxy resin.
Yeah. Julia, you just gave me an idea. It would take a lot of work. Bill, what if we got somehow like put all the boards on a bigger piece of board, like to nail them down, or hypothetically like nail them down or glue them down or whatever, right? Side by side, like almost like a wooden quilt of boards.
Okay.
Got put one planchette on each of them, and then somehow glue like energy stones, like crystals, something the spirits can latch onto. Glue crystals or some type of energy conducting thing. Put them onto the board, or glued them onto the planchette. Then put the planchettes on the boards. Then tell the spirits to manipulate the stones and move them. Because if spirits can move our hands weighing down slightly on a planchette, like say for example, 4 hands on a planchette, lightly holding a planchette is more than a small stone. We put a stone on a planchette, put all the planchettes back on the boards, and have multiple planchettes working at once.
So I've done some experiments with trying to use Ouija boards without touching them. And after you get, what I found so far is after you get a session going and they're manipulating it, if you let go of the board or the planchette for a very brief period of time, I'm talking like a couple seconds, it can continue to move. But anything beyond that, it won't move. If you just have the planchette on the board, like I left one on for 2 weeks, constantly trying to get it to move, and it never budged.
Do you think
you have to be physically touching it because they're working through us?
I mean, with the boards, I mean, if you use the reverse side of them, you could physically use that as a lettering and use each board as a single letter.
True.
So that would give you
be cool.
That would give you a fair bit.
But how would we be like on our arms and knees crawling, spelling some letters out though?
You could probably do it on a glass table, something that glides easy, so that
true.
So Sierra, making a supersized Ouija board is something that I will 100% do when we have a physical museum.
I vouch for that.
Yeah, there will 100% be a giant Ouija board there, for sure. And I don't know if I can share that. Never mind. I learned something over the weekend, but I don't know if I can share it yet. So,
do you know what would be cool, like just for like fanfare? You know how at like conventions and festivals and stuff, how like you walk in, there's like a cutout cardboard picture, like where kids and families can put their heads in it and be like, "Hey, I was here, right?"
Yeah, I already started making one for my museum of a planchette, so you could stick your.
I was about to say,
window.
In that big Ouija board, put a planchette on that Ouija board, then cut out the hole through both, make it look like your head's in. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
We got a lady here that makes Ouija boards out of coffee. Yes. Oh, yes. I was going to bring that up, Kent. well, I was about to say what city she lives in isn't that big of a deal. I'm sorry, not going to say it though. I stopped myself. We have a lady. I'm actually friends with her on Facebook. I'll get in touch with her if you want me to. But she actually makes her most popular item is full size coffee table Ouija boards, and she'll literally like I'm not sure if she builds the coffee tables from scratch or if she buys them, but like she'll sand them down and like carve out the Ouija board on the top, then epoxy it, and then grind it down to where the epoxy is very thin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
Cool.
So my coffee table is a Ouija board, and there's a few people that live near me that make Ouija board coffee tables and sell them.
Yeah, no lie, she's been doing this coffee table thing, the girl in my area, for I assume years, because I looked through her page and she sold quite a few. And I'm assuming it takes at least like a month to make one, if I had to guess, because I assume she also has a full-time job. I guess, but I forgot where I was going with that. ADHD for you. I'll come back to it if I remember.
I mean, driftwood would be great.
Driftwood?
Mm.
Ooh.
If you could get a piece big enough.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I live right by a river. When we have floods and stuff, we get whole trees going down.
I remember now. Small fun thing. She posted a new one to sell about 2 months ago. As soon as it came out, I already knew about it. I knew she did them. She made them, but I never publicly shown interest. As soon as she publicly said, "Hey, I'm selling another one," I got DMs and text messages from I think 13 people on Messenger and Get Haunted, my family, my cousins saying, "Oh my God, you should totally get this." I'm like, I just got back from my vacation and it's $185. Can't afford it. And they go, "Well, I thought of you." I'm like, I know you did, because I'm the only person that you know that does this shit.
So, Brandy, Ouija board floor, planchettes or Roomba?
Or you with
disaster. I've seen Roombas. I've seen Roombas. They go nuts.
Yeah.
That, or the planchette is you with some wool socks on.
Rolling chair.
A rolling chair, yeah.
Animal basket for animal energy.
A rolling chair would be so scary though, because imagine like as you're being pulled, your chair slowly turns, and as it fully turns, just like a spirit just standing there. That's fucking freaky. I'd love it, but that'd be freaky.
Yeah.
Dry ice floor.
You invite her to the Paracon. Did she show up? Because like I've never seen her in person. I know her profile picture is her and her family. I've never seen her in person. So if she showed up, I wish I would have saw her and said hi, but oh well. Another time. What? Suspend Trevor above the superset. What kind of freaky shit are you talking about? I was at a museum in Salem, Mass. They have an expo with all the mediumship styles and history. Saw that they had a planchette, but instead of a board, it had a pen. More spirit writing. Do you guys have one? Do you have a Ouija board mixed with spirit writing? I guess is what she's asking.
So what you're talking about? So what you're talking about is an automatic writing planchette, which is the original planchette. It predates the Ouija board by like 50 years.
Yeah.
And that's what the planchette used to be. You would have a pencil in it and it would actually write out the words. I have 2, 3. Yeah.
See, I've done the ghost writing where I've been in a trance and used had my eyes blanked and it's actually wrote words out using me, but never used the planchette one.
Yeah, I've done the automatic writing like what you just described, Damian. That's really weird when you get a lot of like good stuff out of that. It's weird.
Yeah.
That happens on the daily. I've always wanted to create a Ouija board and then make a planchette for the table. A floor. Okay, yeah. That would be. Then like, you know how like I guess carpenters make like chairs that transform. You can put it into chair mode, then you undo the chair, and then it turns into some other like just random like room.
Trevor has been watching Transformers.
Great movies. Great
back
movies.
in the early 2000s on DVD. Yes, but
The first one was really good.
like
I
all
didn't care for the others.
like all the time, like you'll have like a simple wooden chair that like bend and break and snap back into like a stool or like some little house decor, like some triangle like abstract piece. Imagine if you cut a Ouija board the right way, you could detach it, flip one side, and like put it the other way around to where it turns into a chair. That would be cool. You would have no back support whatsoever, but like it'd be cool for like hey, if you're a guest and you want a quick drink, here, sit down for 5 minutes and enjoy here. You're
I think people would avoid the chair. People avoid me, let alone a chair.
Yeah,
so.
if your friends are wussies, I was about to say something else. But...
Yeah, I don't get house guests. People are afraid of my house.
I get house guests every now and then.
I don't.
But
I don't get it.
The spirit writing the planchette thing. Do they still sell those? Like the original, like
there was a bunch made in the 70s. You can find they were, like the Ouija board, they were sold as like board games and stuff. You can find those on eBay from time to time. There's several people on eBay and Etsy that will make them as well.
There's a lot of copies though that are passed off as originals and they're not. So be careful with where you get them from. Now there is a problem with this one. There is a problem with this.
Yeah, can you turn that off?
No. You can't turn it off, and your dreams aren't yourself. They're not yours.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
So if they want you, they wake you.
So, as a person that has lucid dreams almost every night, like I never have a dream to where I'm a spectator and then I'm like, oh, this is a weird dream. On to the next. Every single dream that I have, or almost every single dream that I have, it's like I'm first person, like in a movie. Like just a couple nights ago, I dreamt I was at the club that I mentioned, and I was talking to all my friends there. Everyone was dancing, but the music was off. But the DJ was acting like he was like making music and playing stuff.
So silent disco.
Yeah. And so and I was walking around trying to talk to everyone. No one was looking at me. And then finally a good friend, I won't say her name, because she doesn't know what any of this is.
Did they have faces? Did they have faces?
Yes.
That's all right then.
I was walking around, and a friend of mine, she tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around, and she's not in the paranormal. She's one of those like not redneck, but country girls. She likes Taylor Swift and wears cowboy boots. Great girl, but doesn't know what any of this stuff is. Yeah. And she turns around and looks at me straight in the face and goes, "I think you're ready now." And I go, "Ready for what?" And she takes her hand and like presents the whole room. And I'm like, yeah, why is the music off it? And she goes, because the DJ knows you're ready too. And then I look up, and while his hands are still like playing music and doing the DJ, like his face went from like working to just like almost like smile-esque stare, like a. And then I looked back at her, and then I go, what is he doing? Went back to look at him, back at it. And then about 10 minutes passed, like this weird conversation. And then eventually I guess I ordered a drink. They hand me the drink. I grab it, look at it, visually a fucking drink. Go to take a sip, and for TOS purposes, it was a pew in my hand. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I drop it, scared, and as I drop it, it vanishes in midair. And then one of the guards, he opens the door and goes, "Trevor." Doesn't point at me, just Trevor, and it reverberates across the whole room. Everyone stops where they're at, doesn't look at me, just stops. Whatever way they were already looking, they just stop, go like T-pose, and just look. And the next thing you know, it echoes so bad that the room just gets absorbed into blackness, and I wake up.
Weird.
I have dreams like that almost every night where I'm the main villain, apparently. But yeah.
Well, I can tell the difference between my dreams and the spirit dreams. But I had a dream this morning which was new. Well, not new, but really unusual. So whether it was a premonition, what's coming, I don't know.
So here's a question for you, Damian.
It wasn't good.
Do you think
I very rarely sleep, maybe 5 hours tops a day, 3 in the morning, 2 at night.
Damn.
Guess that's why you're able to make every single one of our shows.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I spent 6 years working 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So my brain wakes up it would wake me up at 12 midnight for lunch anyway. You know what I mean? So
I feel that. So if you don't mind me asking, like, what do you do for a job?
At the moment, I'm a landscape gardener, but I did aerials and satellites communications for 20 years. I was a supervisor in a nightclub for 6 years. So I've been around. Everything changed when I had cancer.
Did you beat it? I assume.
I did, yeah. I had it when I was 26.
Okay, I didn't know if you were still in the process, but
yeah. I'm one of the lucky ones, is what they say.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But landscape gardener in your country, that has to be fucking beautiful.
It's not. Every day's winter.
I guess I just have this like weird stereotypical like mindset of like what the movies show what Scotland is.
Don't get me wrong, it is beautiful when it's nice, but I mean, our nice is like 49 degrees Fahrenheit. That's summer.
Oh,
I weirdly like that.
That's what we got right now. That's kind of chilly.
Yeah,
that's summer. That's t-shirt weather. I mean,
so
at the minute, I think it's about 38, and it's been raining solid for hours. It hasn't stopped at all.
I love that vibe. I love it.
This coming from a man who's down south and probably hardly ever experiences 49-degree weather.
Oh no! Have you heard about the ice storm of 2009 and the ice storm of 2013? Or
I didn't say never. I said hardly ever.
Our winters here are brutal. Starting around this time of year, it usually starts like beginning of September, or not September, November. From November to like end of February, it does not get above 62 here.
Wow.
And
I've probably got a 1
and that's
month
brutal.
window.
No, I'm saying above that. Like that's the highest high in those months. The average in those months is 40, anywhere from 34 to 43.
And that's brutal to you. You should come spend a winter up my house.
No, I'm not saying that that's brutal. You just said that down south. I don't get that when we have it for half the year.
Yeah, dude, you don't know what cold is. That's
Yes.
all I'm saying.
I know what cold is. Me and my dad would go sauger fishing at 1:30 in the morning every winter for years. We would get up, pack, and drive an hour to the river just to sit in a cold winter, heavy-winded river for 9 hours straight and in like 5-degree weather. But the wind chill made it feel like negative something.
That's duck hunting up here. I did that for years.
That's normal for you.
Anyway,
back to the paranormal.
I mean, I've got a probably 1 month window for the ghosts or spirits that I'm chasing at the minute, which are outdoor. Because a couple of years ago at a castle about 10 minutes away from my house, there was 5 kiltmen walking through the mist, but they were spirits and apparitions. So I've seen them twice in my whole time I've been there. So I'm hoping to see them again this year.
What's up, Wojo?
What's up, Wojo? How's it going?
Wojo.
I saw your shirt a couple days ago, Wojo, on Facebook. It's just like it's just a Wojo thing you wouldn't understand. I'm like, I do not, because you are one of the fucking kind. I would love to meet you in person, but until then, salutations.
Wojo, aren't you going to be at the Soiree?
The soiree. Are you going to be at the supernatural
I
soiree?
know Richie is.
I'm going to
On
mail
Oct-
myself so that I can be there.
Dude, it
Are
would be
you going to be?
awesome if you were there.
Oh,
Nah, I need to get a passport. That's my issue.
Ah,
I need to get my last name back and get a passport.
hell, I haven't had a passport in years. The U.S. is so big. I don't need one. Which I don't think the U.S. has passports anymore. At least not in my state. It's just called Real ID.
No,
Okay.
that's your ID. You still need a passport to leave the country.
No, a Real ID is
Not
a
recognized outside the country. You still need a passport.
in Kentucky, at least as far as I'm aware. I went to my local passport renewal people. I forget what the hell that branch the government's called. And I was trying to get a passport, and they go, "Why?" And I go, "Because I in case I want to travel to a different country." And then they go, "Then you just need a real ID." Then I'm like,
They're
"Is that
wrong. You need a passport.
And then I'm like, "What's a real ID and a passport mean?" And they said, "Do you know how there's a barcode on the back of your driver's license that whenever you scan it, it's just everything that's on your driver's license should get shown on screen?" I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Well, with the real ID, it's like a regular ID, but it has a star on it, and there's two barcodes on the back. The other barcode, when you scan it, shows your passport like information." I'm like, are you sure?" And they go, "Yeah." And they go, according to my Kentucky government people, the only way that I would need a passport is if I plan to travel to another country and stay there for more than 2 months.
I'm pretty sure they're wrong. But moving on to
Okay.
paranormal.
Well, while we were talking about passports, it just said pilot.
Pilot?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was that anybody's word? Was pilot anyone's word?
Don't think it was mine. Mine's an alligator. I mean, I can say out mine's out loud because it's the same one I use all the time. That and tequila.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I'm not gonna sing it. Trust me, I'm not gonna sing it.
I've got to drink 44 tequilas this year for my birthday.
Hell yeah, I did.
One for every year.
Damien, question.
Go for it.
And I do not mean this in a funny way.
Goodbye. Go for it.
Have you ever did an investigation with friends or with people that you know? Because I know you make the joke of I don't have any friends. With people that you know or with friends, and you actually let them use your arms, and like you had their finger on you had their finger on your arm and they moved it around?
No. Nobody's been brave enough to do that with me.
Ah, damn. Billy, you could be the first.
I would 100%.
I don't even need a planchette to use my arms. I can feel the static sensation and running across the leg.
I remember you saying that a while back, but I didn't know if anyone had ever like touched you and did the whole thing.
Yeah, it gets confusing when they come through really fast because it's like really fast typing and you can't keep up with it. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you and I ever got to investigate together, I would 100% do that.
I would love to try it. I mean, I've used the pendulum hanging over the arms. That works.
That's kind of what I was thinking. That's kind of what I was thinking was the pendulum. That might be the easier way to do it.
Let's see. At the minute, I've got labradorite. So
the only pendulum that I have is this one. It doesn't get used often, but it's just a copper spiral.
Copper's a really good conductor. Copper and gold would be great.
Yeah, I have a couple copper ones. The one I use most is amethyst.
Yeah. I love amethyst for just the look. It's also one of the sharpest materials out there. Or is the sharpest?
I've got stuff. Is it black tourmaline? Is it black tourmaline? I think I've got. That's my other one.
Black tourmaline. I wish I had more crystals memorized, but
my sapphire stone is in with Sapphire's tank, so but I'm not going in to get it.
And sapphire is expensive too. Yeah. Have you had? Not have you? Has anyone ever made a functional board out of crystal? Because I figure like that would like break
Yes.
the. Okay, I figured that would break the second you try to carve anything into it.
I would love to try a crystal board.
So the crystal boards I've seen aren't like 100% crystal. They're a board with crystal inlaid into it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. But do you think a crystal board, like a full-on crystal, the whole thing being crystal, do you think that would actually conduct more spiritual energy into it or be easier to use?
I think you would have to probably match the crystal with the energy that you need.
Yeah.
Each one does a different thing. So one would do focus, one would do energy, one would do protection. So
yeah, you'd have to be selective of the crystals you're using.
obsidian would probably work best.
Yeah.
Easy to work with.
And can double as a scrying mirror.
Yeah. Very good idea, actually. That's a really good idea.
A crystallized mirror. That would be interesting.
That'd be pretty sick.
Imagine, I don't know the crystal names, but or not the names, but like the properties and like for which one. But
it's hard to keep up with them all. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine having a room full of crystals where all of their jobs were similar in protection, or yet another group that was similar in invocation, or another group that was similar in like strengthening these energy or like around you. A group of all those. What do you think would happen if you did different groups of those in a devil's play box or toy box? Because
do you mean to have the different crystals on the sides of the wall, or just have it sitting inside of a devil's toy box?
I'm talking about like mirrors made out of this crystal. Like hypothetically, if we like could afford that, like you know how a mirror, the frame of the mirrors, like a normal frame of the mirrors would, right? You get a crystal frame of like 10 mirrors, and each frame of each mirror are different crystals, but all crystals in each group that we're hypothetically talking about is either invocation, protection, or strengthening. And you put those all around you to where each portal, each mirror literally has a framework of some type of energy being put out. And you devil's toy box that shit.
That'd be some.
And how would you think that would work? Because like we've talked about it and we've thought about it in the sense of just regular mirrors where all the frames are just wood, like old wood. Like because all the places that I've been to, like Randolph County, to Fairfield, all the places that I've seen mirrors, rooms of mirrors, it's all just old wooden frames. Hypothetically, if all those frames were crystals of similar energy giving ability.
Hold on. So you're talking about two different things. A devil's toy box doesn't have frames around the mirrors. A devil's toy box is just mirrors. It's just a box of mirrors. So there's nothing but mirror.
Do you remember whenever I know you remember when me, you, Kaylee, and Lori were in the room doing scrying?
Yeah. So you're talking about a psychomantrium.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Imagine that, but with crystallized framed mirrors.
Well, we can do that.
Let's do it.
We can 100% do that. We can even just take a normal wooden frame and just embed crystals into it.
Yeah,
that should essentially do the same thing.
Because I've never thought about that until like now when we were talking about crystals and boards.
I have a bunch of old mirrors we can use. Like literally, I have a whole collection of mirrors
over
there.
Can you have that set up by October 26th in the morning?
No.
Because my plane's set to fly in at 9:30 in the morning. But
I mean, who's got a good idea with the thermal cam on my arms? I've never thought about trying that.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting. I'd love to see how like if you were to film that and yeah, that would be wicked cool if you could actually see the heat or a temperature change on your arm.
I would say it'd be a cool change because it doesn't feel hot to me. It feels cool.
Well, you can't tell the real temperature of your own skin because like if you get sick,
No.
Well, hypothetically, if you
No.
get sick, no,
I don't get sick.
okay. Well, if I get sick and I get a fever, me feeling from my own, the fever's not going to work because a hot hand's feeling a hot forehead, and I can't tell the difference. So
Okay.
someone else will have to feel. But like I remember back on the ghost shows, like Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or whatever it is, right? They would always do a FLIR camera and shoot out into like a field, like a battlefield or something. And like out of like all blue area, because it's all cold, they would get a heat signature like dot, and you would have to zoom in and see what it is. If you took a FLIR camera to your arms, and it would obviously be red or orange because hot skin, unless you're just that cold in the veins. I'm kidding. If you, yeah, just have like red, orange arms, and then every now and then you'll see like a little blue dot or a blip on one of your letters.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I did want to get bioluminescent ink for it, but they said it was unsafe at the time.
Is it still unsafe?
It is in the UK. They don't allow it in the UK.
You could get it in the US.
Yeah, I was like, that's very common.
I'm coming over.
But in the US, most illegal things are allowed in the US. You just got to just go to the right person and ask.
I mean, it took me about 10 years to find an artist to do it.
Really?
Okay, this is kind of on the topic of more on like the horror aspect of things. In the US, as long as you have a good reason to, because like tattoo artists are allowed to like deny you in the US if they just think, you know, this is a super idea, there's a temporary thought, not doing it. Like in my area, if you ask for Confederate flag anything, they will shut you down immediately because that's a very racist symbolization in our area.
Yeah.
And so that if you ask for devil horns on the head anywhere in our area, they will not do it unless you have
yeah, you could definitely find people to do it.
Yeah, but devil horns, 666, unless it's in a tattoo that has more stuff in it, no one will let you in the area. A pentagram,
in your area.
Yeah, and yeah, that
you're gonna love me then when I come over.
I know a couple of tattoo artists that'll do every single one of those things for you.
Yeah, in my area, it's just a bunch of.
Well,
you live in the Bible Belt.
Yes. Yeah. Sadly, I live in the words of John Mellencamp, "Let the Bible Belt come and save your soul." That was written in near our area, but that's not the point. But yeah, so 666
started bleeding.
911. No. Yeah, it's very lame. I want to, in the next 5 or 10 years, however long it takes me to save up like a good amount of money, like a good amount, I want to move up like near Bill or like Northeast PA, something like that. Like, because I'm.
Oh, good God. I mean, yay.
I'm gonna move in with Bill. No, I'm kidding. Kidding. But huh?
Tanya said no.
Okay, damn. Rats. But yeah, like, cause long story short, been coming to my area since I was 5 for entertainment. Over a decade later of doing that exact same thing, I moved here. I've been living here for over a decade. I've been coming here in general for nearly a century. Wait, 20. Wait. That was
Wow. All right. You're done. So, Damian.
So, see, I'm pretty sure I'd be a trigger object with being British. Redcoat.
Especially up, in like the New England area, for sure. Yeah. That would actually. Now I really want to find a British person and go ghost hunting in New England, just to see what happens.
They're going to be a target.
because we've done that at Gettysburg, where we found people who are from the South and took them up to Gettysburg to do ghost hunts there. And things that are definitely different when you have a Southerner with you when you investigate Gettysburg, for sure.
Yeah.
So I would imagine it'd be the same in New England with a Brit.
I'm not trying to like make it the point of topic, but whenever that Southerner came to Gettysburg, were there some racist answers?
Every time I've investigated Gettysburg, I've never had anything racist come through. Ever.
Okay. Because specifically with the southern part, I didn't know if that got brought up, but gotcha.
Nope,
okay.
Never.
A decade?
From the prison areas.
A decade is 10 years. What's the next step up? Like, what's the 20
century?
Year
a century is the next step up, but that's 100 years.
So it just there's just a word.
20 years is 2 decades.
I thought there was a word for 20 years that wasn't. Okay, sorry. Then two decades, yeah. But anyway, sorry. Yeah.
But so Damian, one of the reasons that we wanted to have you on is you always ask the most interesting questions.
Well, thank you.
When you're on the chat. So do you have anything that you want to ask me and Trevor? Or the chat for that matter?
No, I'm on the spot. I was prepared for you guys asking me questions.
We don't. This is not a interview-based podcast. I ask you, how did you get into the paranormal? You tell this long story, and then we just build off that, do side rants, and just talk about the paranormal and whatever pops up. We're not good at
scaredy cat out of you two then.
The scaredy cat out of us? Trevor, easy.
I don't know about that one.
But out of you and I, definitely you.
I've never been scared though.
Do you have a lucky day to go out on? Is it a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, or
usually we
Saturday
go
night,
on Friday or Saturday, but that's more so because that's when we're free.
Okay.
Yeah. The last 4 investigations that I've done have been a get haunted. But then again, I work Monday through Friday, and Friday nights is either travel day, or if it's not traveling, it's a chill night. So it's usually Saturday night.
And after a site, when you're traveling back, is the radio in the car being hijacked by any spirits that you brought back, or do you cleanse before you leave, or smudge,
I don't. It's been a very long time since I've done any smudging or anything leaving an investigation. I've only had something come back with me once, and I invited it. Well, I invited her, I should say.
And did it stay, or did you get rid of it afterwards, or?
No, she came. She showed up at my house a couple of days after the investigation. She was there for like an hour or two and then left.
Okay. And see, when you're doing your EVP recordings, anything been deleted or removed?
Yes.
Changed?
Yes. Oh my God, that blew my mind. We were investigating Penhurst Asylum, and I got a really, really good EVP. And I went and I played it for half the group that was there. I played it for half of them, and they were blown away by it. They said, "Okay, we got to, go show everybody else." And we go, and I go to play it, and it's gone. Just straight up, it's gone.
I've personally erased itself then.
Yeah,
I've never had anything follow me home. Well, as far as the cleansing and stuff goes, I like to live life on the dangerous end. I don't cleanse. I invite. I don't provoke, but I'm not like the nicest goody two shoes guy.
Yeah.
So like, if I just kind of, not without being mean, like I don't like scratch me or you're a bitch. Like I don't say any of that shit. But like, whatever happens, happens. I do what I feel I want to in a very considerate way. And if something follows me home, cool. If something bad happens to me, I let it, because it's science. I want to see what happens. Yeah. I never cleanse. I've cord coded once. I ground myself a lot, but I do it not during an investigation, just when I feel off. But I believe something followed me from Pilot Snob. I've investigated there over 200 times. It's a local thing. It's well known if you look it up, but it's local for me. I think something followed me home from the Conjuring house once. I felt weird a week after, and then I
That place
grounded.
is messed up.
Yeah, grounded myself about a month after that I went, and I felt fine ever since. I never got a glimpse of what it was, probably for a reason. The memory and the thoughts and the feelings of MSP still stay with me, but that's because I've been to MSP, I think, close to 8 times now. Okay. But as far as, but that's that. I have a lot of haunted objects within 2 inches of me, like right now.
Sweet.
But like here, like on that table alone, I know it's kind of a clutter because I have it like laid out like in a certain way, but
that's nothing. You can't see what's below this camera here, honestly.
Yeah, all my haunted objects are downstairs.
The flowers are from a witch grave that I got permission to take. I got a stone from the MSP wall. The Ouija board back there on the bottom I used in the Conjuring house. I got a bingo card from Bobby Mackey's that I got through a very stupid way. I hate how I have it, but I still have it. I'll explain that here in just a second. And I got some skeleton keys from God knows where. But
so you mentioned you had a stone from MSP. I actually just got a stone from Loch Ness, specifically from Boleskine House.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that for anyone who doesn't know, Boleskine House was, I believe it was a monastery at first in the 13th century. At some point, it became a private residence. Aleister Crowley owned it for about 20 years. He used it as a spiritual retreat and a place to practice conjuring. And then in 2015, it burnt down. And the Boleskine House Foundation, they want to rebuild it and turn it into a museum. So they sold off a bunch of pieces of burnt wood and slate and granite that were part of the house to try to build up some funds to start rebuilding it. So I managed to get a couple pieces of slate from the house, and I just got it like a week ago.
Would you try and import them into a Ouija board then?
That was my original intention. And then when I opened up the package, the first piece of slate that I took out felt normal. And I'm going to do something with that. I don't know if it's going to be a Ouija board or a pendulum board or something. I'm going to do something with it. The other piece was a little bit bigger, and I went to touch it, and I pulled my hand away because there's so much energy radiating off that thing. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to build a display case for that. And that's just going to be, I'm just going to put that as, nobody's allowed to touch it except for people that I truly trust. But people can come near it. They can put their hand over it. I'm going to display it with the museum. But yeah, that one's going to be a little bit more protected.
Have you ever done an investigation barefoot?
Yes.
Barefoot?
Well, I know that rubber doesn't conduct electricity, so you kind of like cutting yourself off from the energy of the site.
No, I don't.
So I've done barefoot out in the fields and outdoors, but not an internal. But I did find that rubber soles on the shoes were rubbing off the carpet, causing static, setting off REM pods.
So there's a couple cemeteries that I investigate around here. I am going to have to try investigating those barefoot. That's a great idea.
I've done it. I've done it twice, and both were crazy in their own way. I've only been to one location twice because now there's like someone bought the piece of land right next to it and threw on some trailers, and there's some questionable people that were yelling at us one time saying, if you don't get off the land, it's gonna be a bad ending. So we haven't went back. let's just say they got out a shotgun. We were like 50 yards away. They were screaming at us, but still. But there's a local place called Baker's Hollow Road, and what was that?
Yeah, that wasn't in my end.
My phone.
Did you guys hear that?
Oh,
Yeah. My phone buzzed. Yeah.
Do not disturb. Come on, Bill. You know better. Okay.
It's on vibrate.
I thought something was going off there.
Speaking of going off, any more words from your ghost app?
Oh, there's been lots of words. It's been running the whole time, so I'll post all the comment. I'll post the whole entire screenshot after the spirit at the end. You just got to remember that my time zone is different, so you've got to 5 hours difference.
Gotcha.
Yep.
But so yeah, one of them is Baker's Hollow Road. It's more folklore than anything. But there's a cemetery. Sorry, long day. There's a cemetery. As soon as you pull in, that we got EMF readings off the charts. We were getting static from everyone. Like we would touch hands with me and my friends. We would touch hands and shock each other. EMF would not stay under like the yellow. We were using like the $10 EMF field reader off of Amazon. I know, Bill, you fucking hate it. I hate it too, but that's all we had. That's all we had. And this was a center of a field. There was no outlets or nothing around. It was stone and grass. Like that's all there was. We had to park across the way and walk about 35 yards to that cemetery. But anyway, so that was going off constantly. We were getting shocked. And Lily, my old co-host of We the Haunted, I haven't said that fucking name in a while. That felt weird. We need to have her on the show and do a We the Haunted with Bill Bryan, but that's not the point.
Liar.
Damn. But so anyway, so yeah. We were getting EMS spikes and electromagnetic energy and shocking like each other, and we would all go like this. It's weird. And apparently, there's a tree line like for back in the wars and shit. People would used to get hung and everything. We don't know if it's true or not. There is no proof of that. And so we drove down this long road that leads from the cemetery to a dead end. And we drove all the way down. Sorry. We drove all the way down. And at the very end,
boring himself.
Yes. At the very end.
3 here in the morning.
At the end of the road ends in a triangle.
Yeah.
Not a circle, a triangle. And the triangle point is pointing through to the road and to the cemetery. And there's this legend to where if you go down to the triangle, sit down and invite the spirits from the cemetery in the front of the path, a hellhound will supposedly spawn and follow you back to the cemetery. Fuck if I know. And so we went all the way down there, and I took off my shoes and stood there and invoked this being, and I felt a shockwave through my leg. I'm like, this has nothing to do with a hellhound. I'm sure, but that was still weird. So I'm like, I started like asking like, who came through the earth? Are you of the earth? Are you with the earth? Are you on earth? And then it felt like I was being pulled to the ground, like my legs were getting super heavy. So that's when I'm like, all right. So I did like a crisscross applesauce on the ground with my hands then on the ground beside me, like I was trying to pull myself up. Mm-hmm. And it felt like the electricity was going through one arm and out the other. So that's when I decided to extend my legs out and sit like I was just like full sprawled out. And I felt like I was just going numb. I'm like, I've never felt this. Is something wrong? I didn't know if something was wrong, if I was feeling something that was right. I don't know. So I got up, kept my shoes off, drove back to the front of the cemetery, did EMF again in the cemetery, and while I was holding the EMF, it would spike back and forth. Like I was like smacking it, you know. Then I'm like, weird. And I gave it to Lily, and it did nothing for 20 minutes. Handed back to me, it spiked 1 or 2 more times, and then it just stopped. And I said, Lily, hold my hand. And she goes, all right. No shock. Pulled away, held her hand again. No shock. And then I'm like, it's gone. And she goes, what? I'm like, the electricity is gone. And she goes, why? I'm like, I don't know. And that's the last thing that happened. It's like I got charged. Whether I knew how to do it and it happened, or I just got lucky, I don't know. But I've never told that story because I never go back to Baker's Hollow Road. It's never on my mind. But I'm actually afraid to go back because I don't want someone to shoot at my car. But that's not the point. But yeah, so that happened, and I was like, weird. And then at the end of that, it was like midday. It was a weekend. Around 3 p.m., that's when the neighbors, they got home and were like, hey, if you don't get off this property, I'm like, fine, cool. And then in the car, we were like, that was scary because they brought a shotgun out, and yeah, we never went back. And then at Pilot's Knob, we did barefoot channeling once. Nothing happened. We felt more in tune, like it was easier to get into that trance or easier to get in tune. But during that, we had spirit box pop off a little bit, but nothing happened there with that. Whether that was because even at that point when we tried that, whether it was because we had been there over 100 times by the time we tried that, and the spirits just knew who we were and just didn't want to talk, or something else, I don't know. But I really want to go back to Baker's Hollow Road now, but I don't want to chance it. But what
about ghost vehicles? Have you seen any ghost vehicles? I've seen a ghost car from my sister. So that's
oddly enough, I've never seen one. But since we're on the topic of Baker's Hollow, there is a folklore legend.
I think Damian tried to change the subject.
Oh. No. I'm just trying to get as many questions as I can. You gave me the go now. You see, I'm on the roll.
Oh no, you could ask as many questions as you can. You could tell Trevor to shut up.
I never tell him to shut up. I learned too much.
Talking specifically about like actual like ghost cars, no.
And about horse and cars.
I've seen a no. There's a lot of chariots in our downtown area. Like they're like for tourists to ride and shit. One of those may have been not real.
Because there's a place down in England, and it's to do with the highwaymen, and they say that you can actually hear the horse and cart and the chariots charging through the woods at night. So it was just to see.
Yeah, there's a few places here in the U.S., especially up in New England, where there's stories of hearing the horses and carts and stuff.
Yeah,
but I've never experienced it myself, at least not yet.
That gives me like a Crimson Peak vibe. If anyone has ever seen that movie, yeah.
So, Damian, I got a question for you. Being in Scotland, have you ever done any investigations or just accidentally come across anything related to Fae?
To what, sorry?
Fae? Fairies or any of that kind of stuff?
Yes and no.
Care to elaborate?
You're talking fairies. I mean, I've fairies, goblins, trolls, Tommyknockers.
I think that was the least amount of words I've ever heard Damian speak about a question.
Yeah, it took me enough. I've actually got a fairy garden outside for that reason, which I do actually check every night. So, and that is the truth. I've got a fairy garden in the front garden.
Oh, I believe you. I don't work with them very much myself, but around Samhain and Beltane, I will.
I mean, I did see something that possibly could have been, but when I did it, I wasn't out to prove my evidence to anybody. It was more for my own personal gain. So I wish I'd got a photo of it, but it wasn't explained. But it could have been a bug. There is that possibility. Yeah, there's no going back on what I saw, so there is possible conjecture on that one.
Yeah, we have you know, something similar to Tommyknockers. Well, actually, it's probably around Trevor's area as well as mine, because we have a lot of mining activity. He's got bituminous coal around him. I got anthracite coal up around me, and like we definitely get there's a lot to do with the mines for sure. We've had spirits around this area tell us that they travel from one location to another through the mines.
Yeah.
There's tons of stories from the old miners that, you know, a lot of them, there was a very strict no whistling rule inside the mine, because they were afraid of calling these creatures to them. I know down in Kentucky, there's the Kelly Hopkinsville goblins. There's another goblin case in Kentucky, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
Me and my cousin back on We the Haunted actually did a whole episode about the Hopkinsville goblin.
Yeah, that's a fascinating case.
Yeah. If you guys want to, like the viewers, and you're interested, that's like episode like fucking 20 of We the Haunted, the old podcast. Me and Lily actually dive deep because like that's actually like within like an hour away from us. Where we just like we did like 4.5 hours of research on that because in the end there's not much to really go off of with that. So yeah, while you guys talk more, I'm gonna try to find what episode that is for more context. But
I mean, I would love to do a plane investigation. I don't think the passengers on board would appreciate it, like, but
no, probably not.
No. But while I was looking at planes about being haunted and things, there was an airport in America that's actually got 2 graves embedded into the actual runway because they wouldn't move the graves. So I would love to
What airport was that?
Oh, off the top of my head, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
The 2 graves are definitely embedded in the runway, and you land on it's landed on every day.
The Hopkinsville Kelly Goblin like episode was 2 years ago. It's all green banner. I'll link it in the bio like after this, but the episode's an hour and a half long. So
that's just normal viewing for me. I mean, we're talking about planes, and I just got Amelia.
But
yeah, so then there's flight. The hell is that? Flight 407, I think it was.
Yeah, where they used the parts from the plane and to other parts. And,
yeah. There's
pilots said that they could see things and hear things on the plane when nobody was there.
Yeah, pilots, and then the stewardesses and all that. There's tons of lore around the planes that got those parts and people seeing things, especially right before something bad happened. Like they get warned that something was going to happen, so they can fix it and not become another victim.
So do you guys think that salt water is a better conductor than fresh water?
Yes, personally.
So for like lighthouses and ships, as opposed to...
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, we certainly have a lot of hauntings around coastline, but there's plenty of hauntings around rivers and creeks and that and underground water and that too. So I don't know. That would be an interesting. So I haven't used this piece of equipment in quite some time, but I have a piece of equipment. It's a board with a water pump on it and just a circle of tubing, and it just pumps water in a circle. That's all it does. And it's just meant to kind of have that moving water to create some energy for the spirits. I kind of now want to experiment with that with salt water just to see if that had any more of an effect than just regular water.
So you could use that for water scrying?
You could certainly use it for water scrying, yeah. I've only ever used like tap water for water scrying or moon water. I've never tried salt water with water scrying, and now I kind of want to do that as well. See, this is why we wanted to have you on, because you ask good questions that make us want to go do things.
Well, I've got a bird bath in the garden that I use for water scrying at night, and I cut my fingers and drop blood in and try and get an image through the actual blood from myself. So I mean, I do go pretty severe sometimes with my experiments.
I've never tried blood. I've used different types of oils, like essential oils, and that to drop into the water. I've never tried blood.
Yeah, you run out of fingers eventually, and it hurts.
I know this is different. Not different. It'll be on the same topic, but like different way of doing it. I love water. It's my favorite element. I water scry in the ocean. I water scry in pools. I water scry in my fucking bathtub. I water scry everywhere. And meditate, ground myself. I love water. One time, I was me and my parents. We booked a private Airbnb in Key West, and we had a private pool to ourselves. And so I took goggles, like the suction airtight ones, like not the scuba ones, but just like regular ones. Yeah. And I there was a part of the pool that was really in close while I could like hold myself down. I literally would pull myself underwater. I could hold my breath for probably close to a minute and a half, and I would pull myself down, close my eyes, ask questions, and then once I asked the questions, I would take my hand, clap it underwater in front of me, and create a ripple effect. Then look and see if anything appeared in the ripples. It's almost similar to fire scrying, except with water ripples. And I felt like I got a few things answered. I don't know. They were kind of abstract and obscured. But I did that, and I came out feeling cleansed, but also having more questions that needed to be answered. It's weird. But I also did that same thing with it didn't work. I tried it though. It could work. It didn't work for me at the time that I tried it. But I also laid chest down. D-Hoot, great to have you here. Thank you. Peace out, man or woman. Sorry. But yeah, so what's up, Greg? How's it going? Sorry, I've been kind of off from the comments because I've been talking, but yeah, I also laid on my stomach, and we had my head over the water, getting like a close up POV of the water itself too. Nothing happened, but it's kind of cool how, because whenever I did the ripple effect with my hand, you could have done it either way. You could have pushed them out. You could have just like wiggled your hands, whatever created a ripple effect. But whenever I clapped my hands and it sent it out into the center, and the ripples went left and right, I was curious what I saw in my right eye and what I saw in my left eye. And there were some things I only saw in my right, and so on and so forth. But I believe that as far as for chakras and grounding, salt water is way better. But like for general hauntings, who knows, either or.
So going back to the airplanes for a moment, it is the international airport in Savannah, Georgia, that has the two graves on it, and they are the graves of Catherine and Richard Dotson.
Yeah. So every day they're landed on an airplane.
Yeah, and they both died long before airplanes were invented, so they probably have no idea what the hell's going on.
Pretty much, yeah.
Real quick, Greg, are you on tonight? I didn't see a graphic posted in the chat, by the way. Let me know if you're going to be on tonight. But either way, Damian, do you have any more beautiful questions for us?
How much has your investigations changed from when you first started to what it is now? Do you feel more confident, or do you suppress everything now and just brush over certain things and try and rush through? Or because when I go for an investigation, I'm blind as kind. I don't research it at all. I let the information tell me before I even cross-reference anything.
So when we go on when Tanya and I go on investigations, if it's someplace we've never been before, I will do a bunch of research beforehand, and she'll go in blind. This way, we have the best of both worlds. So I understand. I know what's going on. She doesn't. So when something happens to her, she has no idea. She's not preconditioned to have any of that. But she tells me what happens, and I can know right away whether or not that was pertinent to the history. But yeah, the way we investigate completely changed from when we started to now. Started off very equipment centric, trying to collect evidence, wanting to prove things. And now it's much more spiritual, more about having the experience, more about connecting. And we don't use a whole lot of equipment anymore.
Same. When I'm doing an event with guests that don't know, it's very equipment based.
Yes.
It's almost like whenever I do a event with guests, it's almost like whenever I used to start out in investigating too, because EMFs, EVPs, ovuluses, spirit boxes, pretty lights, right? I would say from 2015 to 2020. Let's just say that. I used to, so as far as age-wise, from the time that I was 16 to 21, 22 maybe, just to make it more easier for the people that are watching, if you guys need the example, I was like the ghost shows, right? I would go in, say, hey, spirits, if you're here, I would love to talk. I have this equipment. I would immediately lay out spirit box and EMF, constantly just keep the EMF out, spirit box, then dowsing rods, then EVPs, then channel for 2 minutes, then go back to all this equipment and be like, well, they aren't coming through. We have to go home. And then I met some people in my life that got more in tune with spirituality and witchcraft at the time. I knew someone that was into witchcraft, and I was like, maybe I don't need all this gear to do all of this shit. I still take a EVP everywhere I go, because EVP is like the simplest form of investigating that's not a divination tool. But now, if I'm doing an investigation on my own, unless I want to do an experiment, something that's new, something that I've never thought of, then I bring a lot of gear. But the last time I did an investigation that wasn't a event, was like Billy Creek, Pilot's Knob, or here in my local Oak Grove, where I took an EVP and then just sat there. I want a pair of some Delcos, but that's not the point. But
it's amazing how much you can experience when with no equipment, no lights, you just sit there.
Yeah, that's basically how I started off.
Yeah, it's something that I'm doing more and more of. Like everything was equipment. I'm an engineer, if you didn't know, and so everything started off very science based, and the more I experience and the further I've gotten into witchcraft and paganism, the more I'm just like, now I've had weird experiences, and I don't care about proving it to anybody else. I just want to have that experience again.
Yeah. Because I must admit, trying to prove to people evidence, it's like trying to catch smoke with your hands. It's really, really hard. Technology-wise, I mean, I've never been one for it, because I'm a walking EMP. It all breaks anyway. So I basically started off with the witchcraft and paganism and the rituals, things like that. Also getting like Hollywood, which is what they used for making wands with originally, for Europe and everything. So I've tried trigger objects like that. Would you consider lying on a surfboard that would be converted into a planchette? in a pool?
Yeah.
With maybe the letters around the
I'm
pool and see if it pulls you towards the letters.
for
Yeah.
for decoration purposes, that would be cool. I think you would have a hard time working because most surfboards are silicone or plastic based, the opposite of a conductor of energy.
Okay.
So
Unless you get a really old one that's made out of wood.
yeah.
So
Now,
you could
there-
probably do it with a kayak or something then that's made of wood then. More
Yeah.
more so than a surfboard.
Yeah. Or just get a piece of driftwood or something.
Yeah.
There is a there's somebody, I think, on Etsy. I don't have this yet, but it's a Ouija board. But the Ouija board is a bowl, and you're supposed to fill it up with water, and then the planchette actually floats on top.
Oh, that's cool.
And I have one from the 70s. It's all plastic, but it's got like this really thin plastic planchette in it, and it's kind of a weird setup. You pour just a little bit of water in there, just enough to give a slight coating over the whole surface, so that the little light plastic planchette can float, and it moves around and does stuff. I got that not too long ago. I haven't really played with it too much yet.
Gotcha. That would
Are
be cool.
you guys going out for this full moon on the 17th and tying sort of like astronomical events and use that energy as a boost?
I am investigating a Masonic temple on the 18th.
Nice. Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Is that this coming weekend?
Yeah. 17th.
17th is tomorrow.
Hunter's Moon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is as well.
Okay, the 17th I won't be. So tomorrow night I'll be at karaoke.
Well, me and karaoke do not get on. I cannot sing.
I got a good low voice. If I get high, it sounds like shit. But I have a good low voice, you know. But,
Get me drunk enough and you might find out, but no
I'll
chance.
see. Like I don't get drunk on a Thursday night, but I have 2 beers in about an hour, and I get tipsy. But I close my tab.
I'm allergic to beer, so
I'll ring the bell on my own. Yeah. What are you
I'm
doing,
not allowed beer.
Bill?
I found out when I was 38 I'm allergic to beer hops.
My back's bothering me. I'm trying to reposition.
Fucking getting old over here. I might need a new co-host soon.
Everybody's getting old these days.
I'm sitting on a fold-up chair. I got to get a decent chair in here.
I mean, I don't get on the floor unless I've got a plan on getting back up. You know what I mean?
But yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow night. Tanya and I will probably do something for the full moon, but the 18th we're investigating the Masonic Temple, and then we're hosting a seance on Samhain.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we're going to a metaphysical shop. They're doing a whole Samhain ritual, and then that ritual is going to bleed right into the seance, and we're hosting the seance portion of it.
We need to figure out what we're doing for the Halloween episode.
Yep. We'll have a meeting next week and figure that out.
Yeah, and also we'll have a meeting next week to figure out paranormal theory. But that's not the point. Yeah. All right. We have about 15 minutes before we run into Ghost Box Radio, and I don't want to take anything away from him. So,
we love Greg. I don't think Greg loves me. I ask him too many questions, even when he's.
Greg. Oh, the only thing I know that Greg loves for a fact is Smokey because Ernie hates him. That's the only thing that I know that Greg loves. But that's a whole other story that I'm not going to get into right now.
So, do you guys use alkaline batteries?
Sometimes.
Are those rechargeable?
I use USB power banks that are shaped like batteries, so they don't fluctuate.
I use the only batteries that I use are AAAs for Spirit Box and lithium ions for my camera.
Yeah, the AA's, AAA's, those are typically alkaline batteries. Some of my stuff uses lithium, some uses alkaline. It depends on the piece of equipment.
What are you doing?
I've got these ones, which are power banks, but it's a 9-volt battery.
Gotcha. Interesting.
But they don't fluctuate, so there's no false readings from them. But I'm wondering if the alkaline batteries would be better for a power source for the spirits.
But to be fair though, specifically with my end, I don't film investigations anymore unless it's a new experiment that I want to like to review.
Yeah.
Like all my stuff now is like found footage. Like after the fact, I tell a story of what happened because, for one thing, I recorded evidence way too long just for people to tell me that's fake. That's not real. I don't care. But I literally just I have fun and experience something, and then I get out the camera and tell my story and make a footage like out of the story.
Yeah.
So the last time I filmed an investigation, or the last time I filmed something that wasn't an investigation was my first time channeling and scrying. But unless it's an experiment, I just let myself enjoy the moment. Because like I tell everyone, if I'm with guests, I'm a paranormal investigator because I'm helping them investigate what they like. But if it's just me, I'm a paranormal experiencer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just thinking on it, I want to say it probably doesn't matter the battery type. I mean, because I use a mixture of lithium power banks and alkaline batteries. I get responses on everything, and sometimes I get nothing. It depends on the night. I think it's just having that power source is the more important aspect of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think one is better than the other in terms of the spirits. At least I don't have any evidence to say that one's better than another. At least not yet.
No, I'll give you one more question then, and I'll let everybody sort of like skedaddle, and I'll put these words up on the screen and up for everybody else for the trigger words.
Okay.
But do you think a spirit could hijack a Tesla vehicle like they can Alexas?
Yes.
Yes. I think there's a video of it.
Cars can detect them with their radars.
Yes.
I bet April Bussett, she even made a video. I don't know if it was her Tesla or one that she rented. I couldn't tell you. Billy may be able to answer this. But this was months ago.
Yeah.
Before the soiree even got announced. And she was filming in her Tesla, like the sensors that are like looking out, and there was just silhouettes of people in cars just showing up and disappearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple of videos like that around the internet. So yeah, I think they can, because I'm pretty sure that the Tesla's radar sensors run off of like an infrared grid similar to an SLS.
Okay. So do you guys use the first gen or the second gen SLS?
I don't use SLSs.
The only SLS that I've ever used is one that Kent owns from Kentan Paranormal, and I don't know any of the tech. I don't know what updates or what he had, but he said that he had updated one that now whenever it scans for shit, there's an update to where it has a 3-second delay, so the chances of getting a false negative is really slim now.
Okay.
That's all I was told.
Yeah, because that's why I don't trust it. It's software that's designed to find anything vaguely human shaped and add a silhouette to it. So the only time they work, I'm not saying they don't, but the only way I trust it is if you set it up in like a room or hallway for a long period of time, and you have a long period of time where nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden something pops up and it's going on.
Yeah.
Then I'll trust that. If you're walking around with it, I don't trust anything that it shows.
I got hits up a completely empty room that's pitch black. So that's the reason I was asking for that. I've not used it a lot myself yet. So
yeah, all the ones I've used have been the first gen. I haven't used any of the second gen.
Yeah, mine's is the first gen. Everything plugs in as well, so it doesn't run on its own power. But I was going to strip it down and try and make a smaller unit and fit it into a robot or something that was more mobile.
I actually have 2 SLSs on my desk that a woman sent me. She needed them fixed, so I fixed them, and then she's like, "Hey, can you make them more compact?" Yes, I can. So I'm just waiting for. I just gave her the price to do it today, so I'm waiting for the go ahead, and then I'm going to kind of make a new housing for it, so that's it's a little bit more compact and not as
cumbersome.
Sloppy. Yeah.
These are big and heavy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll let you guys go because I could honestly talk all night, and
And if I didn't have work in the morning, I probably could too.
Yeah. Same here.
But I'm really curious to see your list of words that you got throughout the night to see if my word popped up.
What were your words? Last one.
Okay, what was your word for first, Bill?
I mean, it's still running, so I've not stopped it yet. So
potato.
Oh, cool.
Mine was tape, so like a VHS tape.
Excellent. And hopefully everybody else in the comments will post their words. And
to everyone that chose a word, post them now.
Yep.
And let's see.
It's going to take me a while to get this out of this machine and back onto the computer again. So
yeah,
it'll probably be on the hour. I'll post them on the hour. So you got 15 minutes.
Before we start shouting out all of our shit, Damian, do you have any socials or anything that you want to say?
Any what? Sorry.
Do you have any like social media or anything that you want to say or shout out?
No. Well, I've got so many. It'd take me too well to get through them. But
okay.
All you guys in Get Haunted, keep it going. Keep the guys coming, and I'll keep pestering them, and
okay.
we'll take it from there. Honestly, because you're a family, and it means a lot. It really does.
So Stacey,
getting a Scotland branch of Get Haunted.
Yes. Oh, definitely. That'd be awesome.
Instead of Get Haunted, it's Get Haunted.
Get haunted.
Hey, just take off the H. Get haunted. Get haunted. Get haunted. Stacy's word was teeth. Icy Spirit's word was castle. That's all we got so far. But let's go ahead and wrap up here because we have a little
I got one last question for Damian, but it's a quick one.
Okay.
Do you know or have you ever worked with Robbie Crossan?
No.
Okay. So I know he makes equipment. I know he was in Scotland up until a few months ago. And I've worked out with him on some equipment. We share ideas back and forth a lot. So just curious to see if you ever worked with him.
No, I tend to stay away from everybody. I scare everybody. So, you know what I mean?
Well, we love you.
Oh, thank you guys. You've got the safety of the screen between us.
All right, everyone. It is coming near to an end. Let's go ahead and say this. Please check out Empty Casket Paranormal. It's Bill Bryan. He does creepy things with wires. Up next, we have Empty Casket Talking Board Museum. He has a virtual traveling Ouija board talking board museum. He teaches you about the history. He teaches you how to make one, I think. He teaches you the different mediums. You can make one on it, and in the end, it's just cardboard. No reason to be scared. Unless you're cardboardophobic, then be scared. Me on YouTube, check me out. I do found footage mixed with paranormal. If you like that type of shit, if you like VHS, the movie VHS, it's that same shit, but with real paranormal stories and real paranormal experiences. Check it out. GetHaunted.com. It's a cool thing. Tune in. It's everything that you could want in a paranormal community structure. We offer it. And if we don't yet, give us the idea. We'll give you credit and we'll make it all happen with you included. We do events. We do merchandising. We do networking. We do podcasts. And a lot more. So fucking do the thing. Supernatural soiree in a week and a half.
Better be there. That's the place to be.
In a week and a half. Holy shit, a week and a half. The Supernatural soiree ad that you just saw on our stream will be the last time that we could play that till next year, because our next show won't be till after. It's Supernatural soiree. It's a paranormal party without a paranormal investigation. Cash bar, special vendors, special guests, VIP guests, a raffle to shoot a 5-inch gun. Why it's called a 5-inch gun whenever it's fucking 20 feet long? I don't fucking know.
It's the size of the bullet.
Gotcha. The more you know. Cash bar, performers, vendors, midnight seance with Patty Negri that is sold out. So if you got your tickets, I'll see you there. So on,
I
so
didn't get my
forth.
tickets in time.
Fucking lazy ass. Anyway, so be there or be square. And speaking of Supernatural Soiree, Ghosted Magazine. It is officially their 1 year anniversary. Give me a second. 1 year anniversary. I need to move the mic. Get their 1 year anniversary their magazine, building a empire. I'm not going to talk about everything that's in this thing.
I got mine, and I got it signed by those guys and by Nesper.
Oh, that's the magazine.
Clever guy.
They have Terrascopes. They have Nesper, the future of streaming with Beacon. Check out beacontv.com. Design and Conquer with Danger. Does it work? There's a lot of shit. You get the point. Check out Ghosted Magazine. And other than that, 2 more things. Up next is Ghost Box Radio with Greg Bakken. Tune in for that. It's going to be a good show as always. And other than that, we have Michael Boss saying Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you as well, my friend. Good to see you in here. Stephen Comet says a great show, and his word was priest. Other than that, we have less than 10 minutes. I am Trevor from Haunted Faith and VHF 82 Productions. We also have Bill Bryan from Empty Casket Paranormal.
I can't do that.
From Empty Casket Paranormal.com and Empty Casket Talking Board Museum.com. And Damian, that's all you need to fucking know. Damian.
Yeah. I haven't got a name yet, so if anybody thinks of a name for me, I will. I'm looking.
Ouija Paranormal. I'm sure that's taken already. That was a horrible name as well.
Finding the name is not taken as hard.
Ouija. I don't know. Fuck it. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I see Michael, Steven, Greg, Stacy, Sierra, everyone. I can't mention everyone's name, but you get the point. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wojo, I'm scrolling through chat at a mile a minute. And everyone, Paranormal Theory, thank you so much for joining in. And you'll see us at the soiree. And if not at the soiree, we'll see you October 20. After the soiree, the Wednesday after the soiree, whatever the fuck that is.
30th. Wednesday, October 30th.
Yes. Thank you all. October 30th, that episode will be a Halloween episode. We will have something creepy lined up for you all. And I'll even premiere. I'll go ahead and say it now. I know it's all a mystery, like that's my whole thing. But I'll even premiere the next found footage short film I have made on Halloween.
That'll be awesome.
So be there or be square. I love you all, and have a good night, guys.
Sleep safe.
Thank you, Bill.